the problem of evil. Well, to start out with, it's not what you might think. The problem isn't that there is evil or how much evil there is or whether evil is balanced by good. No, in philosophy, the problem of evil has got a pretty narrow realm of thought or inquiry. It comes about having to do with the idea of the Western deity. Once the properties of that deity being all perfect, supreme being, and having these features of all good, all powerful, and all knowing attached to it, that there arises the problem. Marcus Aurelius, one of the first to record the problem, noted that if there is a deity that is all good, all knowing, and all powerful, evil, but moral evil, natural evil, shouldn't exist. Surely a deity that was all powerful and all knowing and all good would prevent it from happening. But it does exist, and therefore there can't be that deity. So that is, in a nutshell, the problem with evil. A problem of ideas, associating ideas together. God being all good, all knowing, all powerful, at the same time that there is evil. Many people see that there's a tension or conflict there. How to deal with it? For Aurelius, if there's evil, therefore there can't be this deity. But that's not necessarily the only way to deal with the problem. It is one. It's known as atheism. Another approach would be to alter the way in which we think of the deity. And this is the approach of process theology these days and process philosophy. To say that God is not all-knowing, but is all good and all powerful, but can't tell in advance that evil is coming. Or God is all good and all knowing, but not powerful enough to stop that evil. So that's another approach. There is the approach of saying that there is no evil at all. Leibniz took that. This God that exists is perfect, and if the universe exists, it must be the best of all possible worlds. If it's the best of all possible worlds, and we're looking at and experiencing what we call evil, there'd be a problem with thinking about God as being all good. For Leibniz, it's our ideas about evil that maybe need some correcting, not our ideas about God. It could be that we simply don't understand it because we don't have God's eye view of the way the universe is, in God's view, perfect, the best of all possible. Think of it as looking at a painting, an oil painting on a canvas, and your eyeball is up there so close to the canvas that when you're looking at those dark splotches, they look pretty ugly to you. But if you stand back away from the canvas, the way it's intended to be seen, you see it contributes to the contrast in colors, it heightens the brightness of others around, and contributes to the beauty of the overall painting. That stepping away from and looking at it in the way it's intended to be seen would be seeing the universe as God sees it, which no human can, beyond our understanding then, as to how that could be seen as beautiful. And then there's the approach that says, yes, you can still have these three features of God and evil, known as theodicy. And for the longest time, people have tried to use this approach, bringing in the idea of evil being the result of creatures using their free will to explain how evil comes about while God exists with the properties. That God creates humans, even created the archangel, particularly Lucifer, and gave them free will to turn away from God, free will being better to have than not to have. But problems exist with that approach as to why a deity that knows in advance that free will would be used in that way would permit that creature to exist in the first place. God created Lucifer then, knowing in advance that Lucifer was going to turn away. How could God be all good if God did that? Or God knows in advance of any human coming into existence that the human's going to use free will to do things other than good in terms of interacting with other humans. Why allow that human then to be born? Why not have some sort of a miscarriage or a failure of conception in the first place? Certainly God can do that if God's all-knowing and all-powerful. So, with theodicy, problems continue. The problem of evil continues for those who want to manifest a strong belief in the deity with the three properties, all good, all knowing, all powerful, and evil existing at the same time.